Hello and welcome to this special report from ZenootTV. I'm Nick Peters. Now, with the end of the Brexit transition period firmly behind us, all eyes are on what happens next, particularly in cornerstone industries like automotive. A few days ago, the fate of Vauxhall's Ellesmere Port plant was left hanging in the balance, as the new owners, Stellantis, said a decision on future investment there would be made soon. And then Nissan said production of the Qashqai in Sunderland would definitely go ahead. So nerves are jangling at Vauxhall, nerves are settled at Nissan, at least for now. I'm joined by Professor David Bailey from the Birmingham Business School at Birmingham University. David, what's giving Nissan more security for the future than Vauxhall?
So Nissan have already invested, I think, £400 million at Sunderland in preparation for the Nissan Qashqai, which are due to start producing last year, but held off awaiting Brexit news. So there's already been a big sunk cost investment there. We expected Qashqai production to go ahead. The deal itself has actually been really important for the firm because the deal avoids tariff barriers and quotas, and it basically means Nissan can live for now with Brexit. It's a different situation at other plants where some really big investment decisions are coming up. And so a huge sigh of relief for Nissan, but a lot of uncertainty still in the UK car industry.
I note that Nissan were very swift out of the gates after the 2016 vote, with the then head of the company going straight to number 10. And it was thought, and as was eventually revealed to be true, arm twisted her into a support package. Is that really about the way Nissan have played the game? Have they been smarter politically?
Well, certainly Carlos Ghosn was extremely smart in terms of getting into number 10 early and getting as much support as possible out of the government. Of course, they had to forego some of that when they changed their mind on bringing X-Trail production to Sunderland. They've shifted that back to Japan since. So Nissan have played this very well. And I think as well, we see that in the comments most recently from the chief operator Gupta in saying that there's a competitive environment. So he's making very positive noises about Brexit. I think ultimately he's going to be looking for additional government support going forwards. Interestingly, they did not commit to any new models at Sunderland beyond the Qashqai. And I think what they'll be looking for further from the government is support on launch aid, on training, on the supply chain, and more battery production in the UK. So they'll be looking for more government help, I'm sure.
Yeah, is that going to be possible under state aid rules? Is there enough wiggle room in the trade agreement with the EU to allow that?
I think that's the 64 million euro question because the UK government, of course, have distanced itself from the EU and they've put in place trade barriers to restore this concept of sovereignty. They want to be able to do things differently. Now, one area in which they may want to intervene more is in terms of state aid for what it deems to be strategic industries and technologies. The car industry could be one of those. So, in theory, the government should have more room in which to support firms like Nissan or Vauxhall. But at the same time, within the deal, of course, the government agreed to level playing field provisions and also restrictions on state aid. So this is going to be a big issue going forwards. The EU will be looking very closely indeed at what the UK does to support industry. And if it thinks it's getting an unfair advantage, there's the risk of tariff barriers down the line on UK exports.
And of course, it's only going to get more tricky with increasingly stiff rules of origin, and that's going to become tougher with the move to greater production of EVs because, of course, there are far fewer parts in an EV than an ICE car.
That's absolutely right. And in fact, there's a kind of grace period within the agreement around EVs. So a battery electric vehicle doesn't have to hit the 55% local content requirement to have UK and EU parts initially. There's a phase-in period. So there's a little bit of flexibility for car makers when it comes to EVs, but that gets whittled down over time. And by 2027, those car makers will still need 55% local content. And in particular, the battery will have to be made in the UK or the EU. Otherwise, it faces tariffs. So where the battery is made is going to be a huge issue going forwards. We saw a hint of that in the Nissan announcement, where it said it was bringing some battery production to the UK for its bigger battery Nissan Leaf models. Now, that's going to be the big challenge going forwards.
And of course, the challenge for the government is it's going to come under increasing pressure, again, with state aid hovering in the background, to invest more or to support greater investment in battery production in the UK. We lag behind the EU in this. We've got a big game of catch up to play.
Yes, very much. I mean, I think the EU negotiators have been very clever indeed. I mean, they basically use the trade deal as a part of their industrial policy. So there's big investment has been going into Germany, Poland, Hungary, Scandinavian countries. It's coming in France. So they're really gearing up massive battery production capabilities. The UK is lagging badly behind. There's one battery plant up at Sunderland, now Chinese owned, which can make enough batteries for, say, 50,000 Nissan Leafs a year. But in a good year, the UK car industry makes 1.3, 1.5 million cars. That's going to require a heck of a lot of batteries, probably the equivalent of 8 big giga battery plants. We don't see any yet being built in the UK, tentative proposals, but the UK is lagging badly behind. Now, the danger here is that if there's big battery production in Europe, batteries are expensive and heavy things. You can see car assembly going to where the batteries are. So, it's not an overstatement to say the whole future of the mass UK car industry depends on making batteries on a big scale.
Well, David, as with Vauxhall, everything is up in the air, but it's good to see that Nissan's nerves are settled. Thank you very much indeed for being with us. Really appreciate it, and hope we can chat about this again soon as it develops. This has been a special report from ZenootTV. I'm Nick Peters. Thank you for being with us. We'll see you again soon.